Oh, hey. Thank you for coming out and joining us on another episode of Melanated and Candid Productions. Um, we're going to be going live tonight to talk about some reactions. Don't laugh. You see how I slid up in there. I
I was
had to
just gonna
slide
say
up.
we're not gonna act like that didn't happen. We are not acting
I
like
did.
that didn't happen.
I had to slide on in there, you know. It's all
Oh my
pretty.
God, why she lagging? No.
Oh my God. Not again. Well,
Yeah.
um, since my face is struggle streaming, I'm glad we doing reactions tonight because Jesus,
That's for real.
it's just popping different ones. It's just been caught me looking all these different poses though. Why?
Okay.
I
See
refuse.
that's fine.
Mm-mm, nah. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about some various reaction videos, different deletions from people. Hopefully we can get these articles to pop up. I'm gonna just introduce my lovely co-host. Um, hey, ladies, how are y'all this evening? Um,
Stuff in my face. I'm good. How about you?
pretty good, pretty good. Tell us what you stuff in your face with. What you got over there? This.
Mm-hmm.
Mind your manners. Mind your manners.
Mm-hmm.
You
I
just
got
want to
a
make
whole
me so mad.
attitude. Yes, exactly. Why you want to even start it? Dang. Y'all, she eating my favorite in the whole wide world because they home baked. That's the difference. And chocolate chip cookies, okay? They home baked chocolate chip cookies.
I have a sweet tooth.
I
Yeah.
guess we'll let her slide with this week too. But hey, y'all, how y'all doing?
Yes. Well, it's sounding.
I'm gonna
I
eat in
can't.
peace.
No, she didn't. Childish.
I love me some cookies. Okay. So
I'm eating in peace.
while you munch on your homemade delight, how you doing today, Miss Niecy? Hey, um, salute to the chat. Hey, everybody, for thank you for joining us.
Well, you know what, sis? Both of y'all sisters. Um, I was just going through, just some things just recently, and I was like, dang, what's going on with with the news or in the news lately? And I came across a couple little different articles. So I was like, oh, let me share them with y'all. So yeah, that's what I was up to. That's what I've been up to. Just trying to enjoy the world, but then noticing there's some crazy things that are happening in the world. Literally, these things are insane.
Ain't that
Hey,
the
hey, hey.
If enjoyment was what you're looking for, those stories definitely are not it.
No, I was trying to just enjoy life in general, but then
I
you want
feel
to get
you.
into like you're like, oh, what's going on in the news? And it was like one after another. It was like, damn, what's going on around her? Like, what is going on in the world? So then it had me questioning, like, oh, going places and shopping and all of that. Like, do I really want to do shopping? Did I really want to do Black Friday shopping? No, I didn't. Do I want to go to the stores and do this holiday shopping? No, I really don't. So yeah, I think you guys better start ordering online if you guys are doing any type of shopping. Um, yeah, because it's dangerous out here.
sheesh. So, we've always been taught, from a young age that you got to be mindful of your environment and pay attention to your surroundings and all of those good things. I am like the carefree, happy-go-lucky, bouncing around in life, thinking everything is sweet, and nobody would do that. Why would they do that?
Mm-hmm.
And then you hear stories like some of the ones that we're getting ready to go through today, and it's like, what the heck
Mm-hmm. See,
happened?
she said, heck. I said, what the hell? What in the devil? What in the devil's going on? Lord Jesus, what's going on?
Mm,
Yeah.
I'm trying to. I don't know how good you can call it at this point. When you have little 4 year olds out trying to grocery shop with their mom and then they're getting deleted.
Yes.
Man, that was so sad. And she is such a cute little girl.
Yes,
Little
yes,
baby cutie pie.
yes. And it was sad. This story was taken from People magazine, and it happened in Pennsylvania. Her name, she was a 4 year old little girl. Her name was Kari Thompson, and this is the photo of her.
Look at her with her little hand, little baby angel. Look at her. Oh,
Such
her
a
so pretty.
Don't she
okay.
look like a sweetheart?
Yes, yes. And so, her and her mom were at the grocery store, and what happened is they live in Pittsburgh, and they said that she was deleted as a result of some gunfire. Her mom was also injured in the shooting and remains hospitalized in critical condition. They are not sure whether the girl or the mom were the targets of the violence. That Thursday, the police responded to a call of shots that were fired at the Brooklyn Food Market, and they discovered the mom and the daughter suffering from wounds from a gunshot. And then they were both rushed to a hospital, and then Kari was pronounced deleted. They
And
were
I'm just
given
trying to figure out why.
right. They don't know. They're not sure. They're saying that the motive still remains under investigation. Um,
And they don't know which way anybody went. Like nobody saw anything. Nobody has come forward with any information whatsoever. There were no cameras
Mm-mm.
outside of that store or nothing.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, wow,
it
this
was
is
just
bananas.
a
In this day
senseless.
and age of everybody's got a cell phone out, camera ready, it's lights, camera, Instagram. I just can't believe that there's nothing. Or
And
maybe
then on
there's
top
just
of that, they
nothing
were
yet.
in a grocery store. They were in a grocery store. So I hope there were cameras in the parking lot as well
That's
as,
what I'm
you
saying.
know,
When are you ever the only person at a grocery store? So were they just walking out and they had gotten to their car and it was somebody who kind of ran by? Were they actually inside of the store when it happened? Or were they outside of the store?
I don't know. They said in this they were actually at the store,
Yeah,
right? So I'm
just
assuming they were in the store.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and that doesn't make sense. If they were in the
Exactly.
parking lot, I could see how somebody could get away with that.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, but still, gunfire. I mean, that's gonna get people's attention.
yes. So, because it was a senseless crime, and generally people don't think about their 4 year old child being deleted. They do have a GoFundMe campaign set up for Kari to help offset her funeral costs. So, if anybody is interested in donating to the cause to help bury young Kari, definitely go to the GoFundMe website and look for Miss Thompson so that you can donate. It's so
You know what,
sad.
Rob? This is a
Mm-hmm.
very sad story, and I'm all for chipping in, helping the family. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but can we all please get some life insurance policy so that we don't have to continue to put up or go through this GoFundMe process in the event of a loved one's death? I get it. Nobody plans to bury their child. First of all, that's not the natural order of things. As much as we don't want to lose our parents, it's natural for children to bury their parents, not the other way around. But we
Right.
have got to start doing better about having some kind of life insurance policy or something so that when we go through these type of events, we're not strapped for cash.
Yes, and anybody that's interested in life insurance, Miss Roxy does sell life insurance. I am
Yes, she does. Go
licensed
ahead.
insurance, so just FYI, definitely life insurance is a necessity. It's one of the only certain things in life besides taxes, which I do as well. Um,
Is death exactly.
taxes and death are the only two certainties in life, right? So um, you want to make sure that you have a plan in place that'll help you. Not only that, most people don't realize the generational wealth building outlets that come in line with not only life insurance but also some of the other things, because you can utilize insurance in so many different ways in order to be able to help build your family's wealth. So um, yeah, please keep that in mind. And definitely get some life insurance for you or your family. Generally, if you get a policy for yourself, the children are covered under a rider policy. Definitely with the company that I utilize. So yeah,
Give her a shout.
it's free for the
Give
kids.
her a shout.
Gone with the selfish plug. I ain't mad at you.
Right. Give her a shout. You know where it's at.
Yeah.
So
So
that would be that one. Unfortunately, I say I'm scared of shopping. Okay, I'm just gonna say it now. I'm scared to grocery shop. I am. I don't like going to the grocery stores. It's too many
You
people.
know what?
so we speaking about shopping, right? So answer this for me. Do you believe, because this is generally um, a question for parents. Do you believe that kids are supposed to get everything that they ask for?
No,
Hell no.
not at all.
Not
Not at
even
all.
close to hell no.
Yeah, not even
Sometimes you
close
tell
to
a
it.
child no just because they need to hear no sometimes.
Hello, thank you. Mine be like, Mom, you say no, but I give you, and I make sure my kids stay good. So no, sometimes they do need to hear no because that spoiledness and that entitlement gets kicked in hand when they start getting and not doing or just getting a whole lot just because. So yeah, absolutely. And they have to earn. They got to do a lot of earning. You know what I'm saying? Got to earn the right
Okay.
to use my electric and my, you know what I'm saying? You got to clean up the house. You got to do some chores. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not using my card to put nothing. If I say no, I mean no.
So no means no in your household.
No means no. I think about it. I think about it actually mean I'm actually thinking about it. I might be leaning to the yes. I might be leaning to the no, depending on your attitude, depending on what's going on in the house, depending on, you know what I'm saying, if I actually do something. Am I waiting for you to get it done? Or you know what I'm saying? That's what it when it comes to me with the maybes and stuff. But most of the time my kids get just about, you know, whatever I feel that they need and some of their wants.
And furthermore, even when you tell a child yes, yes can come with circumstances as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I remember one time I asked my mother, could I go to the movies with my friends? And she was like, yeah, sure. I said, well, Mom, I don't have no money. I had spent all my little allowance money. She said, well, I'm not finna leave this house after I got home from a long day's work just to go to an ATM just so you can go play with your little friends. That was the weekend I
Mm-hmm.
decided it was time for me to go get a job because my
Exactly.
social life was not going to be dependent on my mother wanting to go to the ATM machine or not. So
Mhm.
even sometimes when you tell your child yes, there are circumstances to the yes. You can go if you do this. You can go if
Mhm.
this is done. Sometimes there
Mhm.
are circumstances to the yes.
Yep. All the time. All the time. And then my thing is like you said, going to the movies, shit, it's a privilege, man. So how you gonna
Right.
get that money? How you gonna
Right.
get that
You are
money?
welcome. I just ain't paying for it, but you are
Right, how you
welcome
gonna
to
get that
go.
money? You know what I'm saying? Since you want me to do, you want me to pay? Oh, then I know you expect to do some extra chores. You know what I'm saying? Go do some extra running around, right? You know what I'm saying?
Girl, there was nothing extra. When my mama said she wasn't leaving, it wasn't nothing extra you could do.
Oh no, not me leaving. I'm saying for you to get that money so you can take with you.
I
I
got a
ain't say
job
I was taking you
I got
nowhere.
a job the next weekend. That
I
was
know
what I
that's
did.
right.
And I've
Yeah,
been working ever since.
mine already know. But go ahead, sis. My bad.
Oh no, you good. I just wondered, as a side note, because apparently, the next article that we getting ready to look at was it's about a 10-year-old boy who was charged as an adult after fatally deleting his mother over a virtual reality headset.
Man, this is so crazy.
This story was
Over
taken
a
from
virtual reality
But
headset.
I want you to read through
Black
this one,
Enterprise.
Roxy.
Yeah, so this happened in Milwaukee. Yes, it's so sad. Look at him. Um, He's a 10-year-old boy from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, who was being charged as an adult after he admitted to fatally deleting his mother, 44-year-old Kiana Mann, on November the 21st. Apparently, she was shot in the eye at close range around 7 a.m. inside her home on 87th and Hemlock by her son. He first told the authorities that he had shot her accidentally by twirling the gun around his finger. After the shooting occurred, he woke up his 26-year-old sister Brianna Moore to tell her because of his age, he was originally allowed to stay with the family. However, the family called the Milwaukee Police Department the following day to advise them of some serious concerns that they Moore discovered that he used his mother's credit card the day after her deletion to buy an Oculus virtual reality headset that he had purchased online. And I also told the authorities that he showed no remorse after his mother's deletion and said that he admitted to aiming the gun at his mother before apologizing and asking if his headset had been delivered.
Hell no.
She also, yeah, she also told detectives that her brother has rage issues and hears voices from 5 imaginary people. Another family member recalled the child swinging a puppy by its tail as a 4-year-old after he was given a concerning diagnosis by a therapist. Man placed
You
cameras
know
inside the
what,
home to
Ross?
monitor her son, but they were unplugged.
You
Huh?
know what, Ross? That's how a lot of like if you look back in like serial deleters, look back in a lot of their childhoods. Why do they always start with cruelty towards animals? Have you noticed that?
Yeah, yeah. A lot of serial deleters, and very
They all
violent
start with the
people.
animals because they're easy.
Yeah,
So they were actually trying to get some help for this individual kid, and he didn't. Man.
He didn't
I,
make it
I
from
would,
4 to 10. He didn't make it
I,
because
I
all
really,
mom told him is that no, she was not um, getting that. Like it was told no that she wasn't going to do that. So
I would like to know how that conversation went down in that house that day.
which one?
yeah,
Between the mother and the son with him wanting that headset and her saying no. I would like to know how that conversation went down that day, or what their relationship is like. You know what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
mean, yeah, but not even to the point that you know what I'm saying, you're going to delete someone. I mean, whatever that
I mean,
conversation was not to the
if you
point that
can
you're
grow if you can grow up to be a serial deleter and blame it on your childhood, how is that any different? He just started earlier.
true.
So there's no telling.
Got caught
Now
earlier.
I'm not saying that it's the case, but I would like to know what that relationship was like in his house, because it seems like if they knew that he was suffering from issues, was he actually getting some help, or was he just diagnosing? He just went back home. You know what I'm saying? Were there things that were triggers for him, and because maybe if he wasn't getting the help that he needed, they didn't know what those triggers were. You know what I'm saying? Was he used to getting everything he wanted because he had an issue, and then this was the time mom decided to say no, and he didn't know how to deal with that.
Oh no, they
right.
said he's always heard voices. So
So
Yeah,
again,
that's
so if he's always heard voices, has he been getting the help that he needs? Because it seems like the family is aware that he's had some kind of potential psychological issues.
yeah. They know the grandmother
hmm
said something about it. The auntie said something about it. The mom knew that it was something wrong, so she set the video cameras up 2 weeks prior. Like, how often is she checking these cameras? Because how do you not know that 2 weeks ago this child
hmm
cut the
or
cameras off?
someone cut the cameras
Some,
off within
yeah,
2 weeks.
someone cut the cameras off. Um,
Now that's crazy,
Right. And where was your
because
antennas when that
yeah,
feed disappeared on your phone? I know you had
because
been checking it.
because either they were cut off because she cut them off because she didn't feel the need to have them, or they were cut off because he cut them off, and that's a little bit more disturbing.
yeah,
Mm.
because that signifies to me that there could have been some premeditation in this.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But the baby's been hearing voices for how long? Since he was, I think they said 2 or 4. So with that being said,
And that
they've
you
been
need
asking for
medicine. And
help.
I'm gonna tell you what's challenging about that situation is because as a younger
And
child,
obviously the
when your
young
child
man's
tells you
dad
they hear
wasn't
voices,
there.
and when they tell you stuff like that, you automatically assume that it's just them playing. Um,
Mhm.
and it's real challenging for that baby when you don't know. I mean, when you don't know that it's something that you're doing that's wrong. All he hearing is voices. If he does have schizophrenia, and all of these different voices are telling him different things, he doesn't know how to handle that. And then
Right.
them parents not providing him with the medication that he would need in order to be able to stabilize it
Right.
makes it even tougher. So he definitely needed the medicine. If he wasn't already getting the medicine, he definitely needs it. If he was getting the medicine, then they needed to make sure that he was taking it on time every time, because now we have another child lost in the system, um, and that's just not good. That is not good.
That's crazy. But you know what? A
Uh,
lot of parents don't pay attention to their children when their children tell them that they have an imaginary friend. Or it's not that they don't hear their kids, they automatically just assume that it's just something that the child has made up in their head, as opposed to the child actually going through something. Or you know what I'm saying, or having some kind of demented thoughts.
yes.
And we need to pay more attention to our kids, because this is crazy. Because I didn't see anywhere where they were saying that he was getting help. And if he's been hearing voices, and to the point that they described 2 little girls and someone else in his head that tells him to do really bad things, that means this isn't the first time he's done something a little bit suspect or a little bit crazy, and he got in trouble and he blamed it on one of the voices in his head.
True that too. That can be
Right.
definitely true. But my thing is that he was kind of being ignored. Nobody actually got a chance to, you know, get him the help that he's been needing. Whether it's finding the dad and having the dad in a relationship, or anybody. Like, he was getting left out the equation of being of having medical or mental. I'm sorry, mental health issues. He was being kicked out of the equation.
Right. And where is the father? That's a good question. Where is the father?
And didn't even mention him. It's just pretty
That's
much,
what I'm saying. Even if
yeah.
the child didn't live with the father, because a lot of
Right.
kids are being raised by single mothers, but how can that not be a part of the story? Was the father even engaged in this life? Did the father even know about him? What I would like to know where the father was too, and why are they never a part of the story? It's like there's no intention to include the father in the story.
Yeah. No,
Right, like
because
where his
all
antennas
the
at?
story about one of our kids. Okay, another negative story about one of ours. That's going to lead to destruction for this young man who never had a chance from the beginning. Um, so, yeah, basically, they're saying that the child removed the gun from her locked gun safe after he stole the keys. And then he said he took the gun because he was angry. She had woke him up 30 minutes early and wouldn't let him buy the VR headset.
So
So
this is why he deleted her.
reckless homicide, and they have him in juvenile detention, but he's facing 60 years
Now
if
I got a
they
problem with that.
find him
Now,
I got
girl, hold on.
guilty.
I got a
She
major
said
problem with that. First of
that his
all,
mom wouldn't want him to be
Roxy, you're going in and out. But I got a problem with that. First of all,
16.
the child is 10 years old. You have
10.
adults. You have adults that commit crimes that don't get 60 years. There are adults that commit that run around deleting people that don't see 60 years. So how
Mm-hmm.
do you give this child, and not just a child? It's mighty funny that when it's one of those wonderful people, we always want to take in the fact that, oh, they had psychological problems, they had a rough childhood. They always get all this
Mm-hmm.
benefit of the doubt. Now, here you have a child that, according to the story, now I don't know if he was actually seeing a doctor on a regular basis, a psychiatrist or anything, but he was diagnosed at one point in time. You got a
Exactly.
family who is aware that this child had mental or psychological issues. And here we are trying this 10-year-old as an adult facing a potential 60 years. We're talking
That's
about a
ridiculous.
10-year-old child. And I get it. There's an issue when there's a lack of remorse. But at the same time, do you compare a 25-year-old remorse to a 10-year-old remorse that doesn't really know accountability or responsibility, especially when you consider the fact that there is a psychological issue or a
Mm-hmm.
mental issue?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's not the lack of remorse. Maybe it's just, maybe one of those other people in his head committed this crime, and that's why you
Exactly.
witnessed the lack of remorse. Now, I'm not saying that that's any
Exactly.
justification, but how is it that all of it, 60 years, the idea that you would even
It's
consider
missed.
60 years?
And then
Right
there's
off the
no
bat.
therapy and no assistance. No, there's still no mental health assistance at all within those 60 years. Like there's no mental health is what he needed in the first place.
Yeah, some mental health that
That's
his
crazy. But
that
I
his
would still
mom
would like
had.
but I would still like to know what that relationship was like in the house, and what. Okay, another thing. He got the gun. He stole the key and got the gun out of a lock safe. So the mother was, she kept it locked up like you're supposed to. But how did he know where the key was? And at what point in time how did nobody notice that it was missing? Where's the key normally kept? And how much, this is another issue that I have. If he actually stole the key with the intentions on getting the gun, with the intentions on causing somebody harm, if he
Mm-hmm.
actually turned off the video footage with the intentions and on making sure that this wasn't recorded, then that brings about another question. Can you say insanity if all of this transpired? Because that would imply some form of premeditation.
Yes, it
I
would.
hate to say that on the at the face of a 10-year-old, but that would imply that there was intent and
But
premeditated.
But who was intent? He said he's been hearing how many people? Who's intent? Do
Well,
we
that's
know
true
he,
too.
you know what I'm saying? My thing is, do we actually know if it's just the people that he's listening to? Did anybody, does he now have DID now? You know what I'm saying? But if we had at least mental health assistance, if he had a village assisting him and not wanting to just keep calling and saying, hey, I need this type of help. No, we got to go out and seek further help. When we're not getting help, we got to go to other avenues, other resources, other people. You could have talked to the doctor's office and kept pushing them for the mental health, assistance. But could he been further off than what they were actually saying? That's what I'm thinking. Something could have had him do that. He could have been. Yeah,
Because
hey, I just
Well,
found out somebody else got DID
so
and
well, hold on.
he running for office and he got
Well,
DID.
I got another question. Okay, so with everything that the grandparents and the family has come out and said, it's you can see that there's been a history here of some kind of issue, right? If that's the case, then when he was first picked up or arrested and they said he can go back with the family because he was underage, then something had to happen in the home, because then they turned around the next day or a couple of days later saying that they were concerned. So
Mhm.
if you all knew that there was a history of some kind of mental illness, some kind of
Mhm.
psychological issues going on with this child, then if the mother does end up deleted in the home at the hands of the child, whether accidental or not, regardless of how the story came out, why
Mm-hmm.
would you be comfortable with the child in the house anyway, knowing that there are psychological issues and knowing that this child has said that they hear voices in their head? And it just so happens that your mother ends up deleted. I wouldn't
So
feel
I'm gonna say
comfortable.
this. I think um, it could be a whole lot more to the story
Mm-hmm.
than what it is that they share. You know, when they share stories about us as people, they always share these stories about
Pieces.
us as in a negative light, just like they did with George Floyd when they said that he was going in there to steal and all of that. They never. It's always the negative that they shared with us. So, could it be that possibly he was having issues at home before then? Maybe his mom was mistreating him as a result of him having
Right,
this. Maybe there was something that was going on in the home with him as far as his mom that caused him to have that resentment towards her. Some people don't
Mm-hmm.
right.
they
Because
don't some
sometimes
people
you
don't
can
take
develop.
kindly to the fact that they have a child that has special needs. They don't understand it, they irritated by it, and they treat their child funny as a result of it. Um
Right. And sometimes you can develop those other people in your head as coping mechanisms. So that
Mm-hmm.
potential exists as well.
yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
me.
But
But you know
but
what?
but Ridley brought up a very good point. And this is why it's so excessive about the 60 years, because here you have the Stanford rapist who basically was found guilty. Now he was facing 5 original charges. The first two were great. Then there was the assault, penetration assault or whatever, and then there was another one with the intent. So the first two, the actual grapes, got dismissed and he was found guilty of everything else. I said, but if there was intent to grape and there was actual penetration, how do we get to eliminating the actual grape charge? If there was intent to grape and penetration actually did go down. So then the judge, now this is a college kid, this kid is 19, 20 years old. The judge decides, even though this child is found guilty, that he doesn't want to ruin this man's life over a mistake. Sentence him to 6 months. He's released in 3 months, and that's pretty much about it.
Mm.
But you got this little 10-year-old melanated boy who you're sitting here even tossing around the idea of a 60-year sentence when there's clear psychological issues. The Stanford rapist didn't have any psychological issues. The judge didn't want to ruin his life over a mistake. But what about that girl's life that you ruined?
Mm.
That's super sad. So, this I do agree with this comment. If I can ever get it to act right and pop up, it was a comment that was made about moms taking accountability for their kids. That's a conversation that most women ain't ready to have, though. It's a lot of
Of
people.
course not.
It's a lot of moms that think that they good moms, even if they provide, even if they just providing the basic stuff, they can be utilizing welfare system and child support from the father to get the money, but they don't look at that as being the negative. They don't look at mistreating their kids being negative. They don't look at not teaching their kids how to read and tie their shoe and do all of the good things that cook
And how to be responsible and accountable.
necessities that a mom teach their kids. A lot of women aren't ready to be accountable for those type of things, or to feel like they a bad mom because they took the dad out of their child's life, or because they hold
Mm-hmm.
the child back. They don't consider that to be negative. It's a lot of moms that's out here praising other moms for that dumb shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, but I wanted to address the comment that's up too. And it's not that we're not, because we do hold women accountable, but we don't know what that relationship was. And just because daddy is not mentioned, we get that. We bring that up too. We always talk about fathers not being in the picture, and that's one of the problem with our children. But because we don't know what went down in that house, just because daddy's there doesn't mean that there weren't mental issues with that child. And it doesn't mean that he doesn't need help. whether father is there or not, the child could be suffering from some kind of mental issue. And we as a community need to understand we've got to stop frowning on getting assistance when we actually need assistance. True enough, fathers not being around causes a lot of criminality and is basically to blame for a lot of
Mm-hmm.
juvenile delinquency. But that doesn't mean people are
Mm-hmm.
not experiencing mental issues or psychological issues.
Yes, and you guys covered it because I was definitely about to say something about both of those. Yes, and definitely yes, and we're definitely not on the side of what was that other one? What was the other one that he had mentioned? Passing on hate from mothers to another mother or towards the father. We have spoken many times in regards to that. Like
Self
we,
doubt must be new because we talk about that all the
yeah,
time.
like
All
yeah,
the time.
like
We hold women
we
accountable all the time. So
yeah,
you must be new
so
to
you
the
must be
channel.
very new to the channel, but we already got a movement 826. So I'm not for sure if you need to go through and just look at us and check us out, but we definitely speak very positive about men as well as negative about some of the things that are women are passing down. And I don't even want to say women, I want to say just females. Can I say females? I can say females, right? Yeah, females are just passing down to another female and not, you know what I'm saying, they're
Real.
not, you know what I'm saying, they're portraying, you know what I'm saying, these women are portraying something that they're seeing on TV or something, baby. We talk real life, and we're not interested in all the little hype and the BBLs and all that stuff that's coming with all this negativity and women don't need no men, and men do this, and women, we're the ones that are trying to help in the community with all the disassociation and the misguidance and the misunderstanding and the miseducated. So I apologize if you're feeling some type of way, but please understand we speak on fathers as well as we speaking on mothers. My bad. Go ahead, ladies. But speaking on that 60 years, but speaking
Now
on that 60 years,
that's BS. That's to even entertain the idea of giving this 10-year-old 60 years is BS. Now when you got whole wonderful adults running around getting slaps on the wrist for making conscious adult decisions.
true.
That's BS.
At the end of the day, it's about the kids anyway. It's supposed to be. Okay,
Because they
um,
ain't asked to be here.
so I mean, our job as parents is to educate and train our children up in the right way so that they can grow up and become productive and positive citizens and pass that along to the next generation.
And be able to change some shit if need be. You know, be able to change some shit.
And whether you a
But
mom or a
somewhere,
dad, if you out here stifling your child, if in any way, then that's
Pimping
not
your
okay. We
kids.
were having a conversation earlier about moms who unintentionally basically do what the brother brought out in his comment when he said that moms were dream deleters because moms will unintentionally, oh, you can't do that, or oh, that's not for you. Why don't you do this? And when
Mm,
you like that, you stifle a child's dreams, even though it may not be intentional. Um,
right?
mm-hmm.
you may
That's
think that
facts.
you're telling your child something is positive because from your experience, it wasn't something that they might have been able to do. But times change, and people are different, and there's a lot of opportunities that are open to our kids that weren't open 10 years ago, not 5 years ago. So, as parents, we need to be mindful of that and encourage our kids to do whatever is in them that's positive and creative because that's what they need. And in order for them to grow the right way, they have to be doing something that they like.
That's facts. And you know what? I thought about that too, because that's one thing that social media is starting to do now. Social media is actually tracking behaviors of children when you see them in videos with their mothers versus when they're with their fathers. And what is so crazy is when you see videos of children with their fathers, what are they doing? They're excelling at whatever, whether it be karate, skateboarding, singing, rapping, drawing, whatever the case may be. When they're with dads, they are like top notch. And we're talking about
Mm-hmm.
little 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-year old kids.
Mm-hmm.
And every time you see a video with mom, the kids are doing something ratchet. They're dancing, they're twerking, they're cussing, they're arguing, they're fighting. Um,
Mhm.
and it's
Mhm.
crazy how you see this different interaction, and I don't think people really realize what they're doing as they post these videos. But social media is keeping a record of all of that, and all the videos you see of women engaging with their children. It's not what you would consider a parent-child. Uh, it's not the role that you envision when you see a parent and child relationship. But when the kids are with dads, they are often excelling. And what's so crazy about a lot of them, like I saw this one where it was this little girl driving this little Hot Wheel car, right? And when I tell you, this little girl whipped this car into this parking space, well, when her father saw her, he got geeked, excited, everything. So he decided that he was going to start souping up her cars, and now she's actually running around driving real race cars and everything, right? But as a mother, you know what the first reaction would have been? That's dangerous. Don't do that. So even like Roxy said, even when it's not intentional, we do tend to hinder our children because we like to play things a little bit more on the safer side, even when we think we have the best of intentions. When you think you're keeping your child safe, because
Yeah.
yeah, we don't
Also,
we don't let our kids
another
explore
thing
as much as dads do.
Another thing we have to stop doing too is stifling our children when it comes to employment, because there's always going to be somebody that needs to flip a burger. There's always, and I'm not saying don't have dreams for your kids. Nobody sets out and says, "Oh, okay, well, my child is going to be the person that's the Walmart greeter." Nobody says that, but at the end of the day, there has to be somebody for all of these roles. So you don't make a child feel bad or a young person feel bad about having that position. You put them in a position where you motivate them and you guide them and you let them know, hey, this is where you're starting out, but you give them stepping stones to help them to be able to grow into something else. You teach them the ways in which to utilize their current situation in order to get to their next destination.
While we're at it,
Mhm.
can we talk about the importance of STEM? Because I don't know why, for some reason, that has eluded us lately.
Uh, yeah, it's a necessity. I don't understand. We
Yeah, it's
hell
like
life skills.
you
Shit.
don't hear you don't hear those childhood dreams anymore. You don't hear parents. It's like STEM is like no longer a topic of discussion. It's like those jobs now are they're geek jobs. Nobody wants to do that. Oh, those are just for nerds. It's like everybody wants to be a YouTuber and social media famous. And I get it. You want to have a successful YouTube channel. Okay, I get it. But if the grid goes down, what the hell you gonna do with a YouTube channel?
Mm.
So it's not just that; it's about the things that they're learning are important. Nobody's talking about the importance of STEM at home. Nobody's making them do their homework at home. Nobody's making them go to after school tutoring and summer camp and count summer extracurricular activities. Nobody's making them log into the computer in the summertime and get in that 20 minutes worth of extra training. That's one of those things that dads do. They make sure that that kind of stuff is handled. Um,
Mhm.
Nah,
um,
we just let phones babysit our kids now.
Mm.
yeah, and no, that's not okay, because at the end of the day, that's why these kids is failing these tests and they're
Girl,
not they graduate and not being able to read because of the No Child Left Behind program.
that
Okay,
bullshit
we teaching
program.
all
But
our
how many
kids now.
times have you been out? How many times have you been out shopping and you see a child that's getting a little restless, and the first thing mama does is hand them a cell phone or a tablet?
Oh no, it happens all the time. It happens all the time.
First thing.
But I ain't even saying that in school. I'm just saying in life, you have to know how to at least read, at least write, and you gotta know how to do math if you're gonna make it somewhere, anywhere. It don't matter if you're a greeter, if you the burger flipper, if you gotta be able to count the money that you're getting in. I mean, a lot of things is just we got to take it back, and we got to focus on, honestly, there's kids that don't even know how to multiply, and multiplication is like fourth grade, third,
Baby,
fourth grade.
these kids can't count. They
Girl,
don't know how to
you
spell their
adding.
own name. Do you
You
hear
you
me?
getting
Not
too
your
deep with
own name.
multiplication. They can't even add half the time.
That's what I'm
Just
saying. But
saying.
I've been crying lately about these multiplications for these kids lately, so that's why I've been
I'm gonna
fussing at them like, come on, get this
Hey,
multiplication
hey,
together.
Nisi, How many? If you got 50 $20 bills, how much money you got?
Right. You can't do that. Like what? Who raised you? What are you talking
Hey,
about?
You
Girl.
have to,
that's a proud
you have to do
that's a
two
proud
20s and
OSU
add 10.
that's a proud OSU student.
No, she not. She faking. She lied. She just know about this. She just from the state of Ohio.
Hey, she said OSU.
That's the script.
That was somebody
No, she
whose mom
said.
wasted that college education. That's what happened. Ain't nobody about to play with her.
Oh, well, I guess somebody done wasted that dang on education. I'm sure whoop her ass for that. The hell wrong with her? But speaking of the
Yeah,
60 years minus this next one or whatever one you gonna play, because I know it's in
yeah, no.
comparison to that.
This next one has something to do with us protecting our kids, um, and making sure that our children are safe, whether they're in our presence or one second, in the presence of someone else. You always want to make sure that you being mindful of your little people, because this one right here was pretty deep. You take ownership in some little people when they not personally your little people, but they your little
It
people,
don't mean it.
okay? Because
Nope.
it's about a Baltimore woman, who pled guilty to deleting her husband, she didn't take him all the way out. She just shot him, because he was allegedly mishandling children inside of her daycare center.
Who's bleeping in and out? Are you bleeping in and out?
That's Roxy.
So this is mom right here from Baltimore. After she accused him of being is it? Am I? I'm sorry,
Yes,
y'all.
and you delayed.
So you said I'm
Uh-uh.
delayed.
Yes.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but
Is it
I'll read it.
working?
And you keep popping. No, you keep popping in and out. You keep popping in and
Am I
out for some
working?
reason,
Am I
like your
working?
thing. Yeah, see, I can't hear you now. So see if you could just scroll so we can see it. I know D said she gonna read it because we
Yeah,
can't hear
so
you.
according to CBS Baltimore, Shanteria Weems from Baltimore County pleaded guilty to aggravated assault, knowingly while armed, carrying a pistol without a license outside a home or business. Sentencing has been scheduled for February the 3rd. Weems has been charged with assault with intent to kill, possession of an unregistered firearm, and other offenses connected to her actions on July 21st. After shooting her husband, she held police officers at bay at the Mandarin or Oriental Hotel in the district. Go ahead, Rox. All right. So the other charges filed against Weems included possession of a firearm during a crime or violence and resisting arrest. Those charges are expected to be dismissed when she is sentenced. Weems, who is a former correction officer, is the registered owner of the Little Kids Castle Daycare Center located in Owings Mills. There were allegations that at least 3 children who attended the facility were mishandled. So her husband, James Weems, I don't know what just happened. It looks like we lost Roxy. So basically, the story is apparently 3 kids at this daycare, and I don't know the age. I don't know if the story actually went into the age of these little kids. Um,
Mm-mm.
but 3 kids, and I don't know the gender of the children either, came and told her that they had been mishandled by her husband.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if there was any proof that was presented. I don't know if she just went into automatic rage and mommy protect mode and just said, you know what, I'm not going to deal with this. But she ended up shooting her husband.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she had intentions on deleting him. It just didn't
Mm-hmm.
go down that way. And you back with us, Rox?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Oh, you sound good now.
Yes, you do.
I had to go
But
and cut for a second.
Yeah,
uh,
so she didn't end up deleting him, and from what I understand, he has been released, I believe.
Yes, he has been released from the hospital with multiple gunshot wounds. Although he has been discharged, he is currently in police custody and waiting to go on trial for the multiple sexual abuse charges.
And now that's what's interesting too. So it's not that she just did what she did, shooting at him with the intent to cause some to harm. But the fact that he is actually getting ready to stand trial for the mishandling of the children makes me wonder what kind of evidence actually has been presented and what he's actually done. Because on
Hmm.
top of her being sentenced for her involvement in shooting him, he's actually about to be on trial too for the mishandling of those kids.
Exactly, which lets you know there's some good evidence to say you did it. And
Right.
I don't see why she
As he
got
should.
And I
these
wonder,
kids are
do
in
they
her
have
care.
do they have
Period.
children together?
What do you mean?
Do her and her husband have children together?
It did not say that. It just said that they have worked for
They
uh
married for 5 years, I
they
think.
worked for yep, married for 5 years and that two of them lived together. She said that several other children from her daycare recently informed her that the husband had been molesting them at the facility.
Mishandled, mishandled, mishandled.
Mishandled. Okay, mishandled them at the facility. She then reported that. Oh, she did report it to the authorities.
Yeah.
So she reported it, and then after maybe they weren't moving fast enough, and then she decided to shoot him.
Okay,
That
well, listen, that's they
is
move a
that
Nah,
little
she
what happened?
reported,
faster.
and then she went on in there and handled her business. Like, you gonna quit
And
messing
then
with
she
my
reported.
and my kids.
Yeah, them kids is her babies, her nieces and nephews.
I mean, I'm not
Period.
mad at her because I don't play that nonsense neither. But
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it was an automatic. And don't get me wrong, I don't. You should never automatically assume a child is lying when they tell you that an adult has touched them in an inappropriate manner. But
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times, especially in today's environment, you see a lot of women, especially when it's their husbands or their boyfriends, the guys that they're dating, being accused of these kind of acts. They have a hard time believing it. And for the most part, the women who automatically do have either one, been mishandled themselves growing up, or two, was there something else she heard about him, knew about him, had experienced that made her automatically, oh, I know he's guilty of this.
So first
Mm.
of all, as a parent, you should have taught your child. We should be stop sweeping this under the rug. Start talking to your child about this kind of stuff, because this is the reason why kids are getting mishandled in the homes and outside of the homes, because we're not talking about this stuff. Your child should know what incest is. Your child should know how to handle that situation. Your child should know what it is when somebody else is mishandling them inappropriately, and that it's not okay for somebody else to put their hands on their body parts. They should know what those
Mm-hmm.
body parts are called, and they should be able to tell you and be comfortable with telling you what's going on with them and
True,
their life.
true.
Like,
But we don't like to have real conversations. We tell them that nobody should touch you inappropriately, but we don't get down to the nitty gritty. And I remember when I was married, my husband's son lived with us, and we were having that conversation with him too. But not only did we tell him about watching out for other people, but we both looked him dead in his face and said that includes us too. If you feel like one of us touched you inappropriately, go tell somebody.
and
That
not
applies.
only that,
And I don't
not
think
only
enough
somebody
parents.
touching you, you
I don't
touching
think
somebody too.
But I think
Mm-hmm.
that's another problem, though. I don't think enough parents, I think parents always focus on outside forces touching their children. I think we always talk about stranger danger. We talk about teachers. We talk about, people outside of the home. But I don't
Mhm.
think we talk to our children about the potential of people inside the home. And is that a reason why children aren't as don't discuss it as freely when it happens? A lot of children don't know how to deal with it. I don't know what that is, but I don't think we put enough emphasis on the fact that that applies to us too in the home.
Yes,
Nobody should touch you inappropriately. And I think we always have that conversation from a stranger standpoint and not a anybody standpoint.
that's
Well,
true.
not me, honey. It's called
Yeah,
prevention, intervention, and awareness. You got to speak it all about everybody: cousins, uncles, nieces, nephews, neighbors, everybody. Everybody is suspect. So
and you
that's just
too.
what you do.
Don't automatically assume that that kids just know. That's another thing that
Mm-hmm.
we do as adults. We automatically assume that just because we know that our children are supposed to know too, and that's not the way that it goes. Our kids
Mm-hmm.
are born knowing nothing. They learn everything coming along. So how they learn and the things that they learn is totally up to us. They say that in the first 5 years they learn the most that they're supposed to know, right? That the most that they can get in one session in the first 5 years out of the rest of their whole life.
They baby
And
sponges.
if we not talking to our kids about this kind of stuff and we not putting it into them, I promise you that the world is going to teach it to them, and it may not be what you want. Um,
Mm-hmm.
And
and
but not just what we're not just not teaching them, but it's also the things that we actually do and perpetuate, like the
Yes.
idea of a little girl sitting in a grown man's lap. Stop putting your babies in grown people's laps. Stop doing that. Especially a little girl has no business sitting in your boss's lap.
uh,
No business. Stop bringing as a single mother, stop bringing every man you met at the club to the
Home
house.
to the kid.
You can
Yes.
live whatever frivolous life you want to live, but do not bring every Tom, Dick, and Harry to your home to meet your children.
and
Because
please
A,
know
that's
that kids
disrespectful
notice
to the kid.
everything. I don't do not
Yes.
see flicks sneaking up in
Yes.
there late night. They notice, okay?
They notice. Young men is going to notice how the men are treating you, and the young ladies are going to notice how you are being treated. So make sure you are sending the right example to them babies, because you being a mattress is showing them that, guess what,
See it. But not
I
just
might need to
babies.
find one.
But not just babies, especially if you have a teenage daughter at home,
Well, I'm
because
talking about children.
you have to think
Children.
about the age that we are. You know, we teenage kids or whatever. You
Well, I
have
say
teenage
babies as
kids,
children.
and you sitting up here bringing a 40-year-old man over to the house, and you got a 16-year-old child who is built like the best cheerleader body on the planet. And she's walking around scantily clad. Now, I'm not saying that that's her fault. I'm not saying that anyone is to blame, but we've got to stop you got to stop making putting yourself in a position for things like this to happen. That's just like you can't prevent graping. You know what I'm saying? If someone has intentions, they're gonna go for it. But you can limit your risk by staying out of certain places, going to certain places at nighttime. Don't be hanging out in the alleys. There are things you can do to limit the risk, even though you can't avoid things altogether. And we've got to make better decisions when it comes to limiting the risk. So that goes back to stop bringing everybody to your house. Your kids don't need to
Mm-hmm.
meet everybody all the time. And stop bringing them around just anybody. Stop allowing your kids to go to anybody's house just so they can get out of your hair. You don't know what those households are like. There are so many parents who there's kids hang out at a friend's house. You have no idea that those parents is in there living like hippies. The kids are getting high in the house. They're doing all kinds of other stuff. You have no idea what other parents do in their home. And until you vet those parents, stop letting your kids go everywhere, because everybody don't raise their kids the same.
Yeah, and if you that parent that's doing that with your kids, stop it.
Yes, we cannot be friends with our kids and raise our kids at the same time, because the kids will stop having that much respect for you and become your friend. So guess what? You're both just what? People. Y'all feel like y'all friends, y'all homies. There's no respect, there's no hierarchy, there's no line. And if you came out of me, oh yeah, there's a big line. There's no homie, I'm not your friend, and we ain't buddies, and no, we not hanging out, we not kicking it. I'm no. But I did want to say, if people are really interested in having those conversations and just a little bit unease with having those conversations, I do know Sex Ed Talk by oh, it ran out my mouth that quick, but she is like a expert at that. And I do know Damsel, is it Damsel in Distress or Damsel in Defense? What is it? Damsel.
Distress.
Okay, I knew it was one of those. But if you go on there, they also have some things in regards of like
Right.
stranger danger, my body. They have like different books to help, just break that conversation in with our babies. And when I say babies, it don't matter if they're 5 6 just starting school, um you know 17 18 about to go to college or in high school or doing whatever, dating just now starting to date. It's a lot going on, so they just help with those different type of conversations per se.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but we got to start having them
we need to have these conversations at home.
yeah, but we
Yeah,
don't.
Well, no, I'm saying if it's
mama,
difficult,
daddy,
they can utilize some of those, if it's difficult to have those conversations.
no, you need to get it. It wasn't difficult when you laid down and had them kids. It need to be less
Okay.
difficult. Stop putting your stuff off on other people. Take care of your kids and your responsibility. Stop letting other people raise your damn kids.
Right.
If they needed to have that conversation, then you needed to have that conversation with them.
Or what I hate are the women who let everybody else raise their kids but the dad. So
Yeah,
you
now
let your
that
baby
kills
go
me
to
too.
everybody's house but his house.
Yeah, that kills me too. I don't
Yeah,
understand that.
that's the ones that get on my nerves. But yeah,
Like,
we've got to. You responsible for them. Take care of the kids, but we got to do better at making decisions for our children. Stop trying to be their friends, like you said, Nisa. We are not friends, and being kids'
period.
friends is detrimental to them too because you tend to
Mhm.
let them get away with more when you want to be their friend. You're not
Mhm.
there to be their friend. You are there to guide them down the right path and prepare them for this cruel world we living in.
Exactly.
Good playing out here. Whew. Mm. So, um, oh, this next article we're gonna take a look at is I was sad too. Second. Let's see if I can get it to pull up. Mm. It was about a mom and her I'm sorry. One day it's gonna be all right. While it's
Which
taking
one you
all
said,
this.
Rob?
Um uh, this one is for can you see? Oh no.
No, I'm not yet. But which
You
one is
better
it?
nope. So this one is about the Maryland mom and her 4-year-old daughter who were deleted in a targeted and deliberate attack, but the motive was unclear. This mom was her name is Elise Wars. The article was taken from People magazine.
Oh,
Um,
I haven't seen this one.
yeah, her daughter was Corey Ashton. She was 4. They were found deleted inside of the hotel room where they had been living for several months. And nobody knows why. See, I feel like this is one of those situations that we were talking about before, where a mom places their child in dangerous situations,
Well,
Hold on,
and
they
actually,
now
said it was. Hold on,
it
hold
cost them
on.
their
They said it was.
lives.
They
no,
said
no,
it
no.
was
Slow
targeted.
down.
Go
Yeah, it
go
is
back up.
targeted. It is.
So
It
if it's
was targeted.
They
targeted, how is
targeted
there no
and
motive?
deliberate.
Yeah, but it was by somebody. It was by another
Targeted
person
and
that she's
deliberate.
been. It was by a person that she was hanging out
Mm-hmm.
with and cool with that
Mm-hmm.
did that.
Of course it was. Listen, they arrested Javon Hines, who was
Yep, there
22
you go.
years old, after tracking him down. But why is a 22-year-old deleting a 40-year-old and a 4-year-old? What was she
She
doing
was
with him?
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because at 40 years old, in my mind, dealing with a 22-year-old, that's
Girl,
manipulation.
this could have been her. That could have been her son.
It could have,
It
but it's
definitely.
At
not. That's
40,
not
you
what it
could have
said.
a 22-year-old.
Yep, definitely.
I mean,
Hell
just super sad.
no. Is that
And they
him?
said that
Mm-hmm.
he was. Yeah, this is a picture of him, and he was an acquaintance of hers. Um,
Is he a nurse?
No, he just got the jail
uh,
uniform on. That's green.
No, that look like he got on a. That look like a nurse outfit.
that looked like
No,
a
it looked like
hospital.
they got a comfortable. Exactly. He in the mental health ward part in the jail with the
Oh, that
He
green.
he is.
plays.
Yeah, that is the police department.
With the green. He in the jail with the green outfit on. With the mask. That's what they got wear. They got to wear masks.
That's sad though, cause she didn't got this little boy out here. She probably didn't. Ain't no telling
We
what
don't
that
know
girl
what
did to
she
that
did, but
child.
my thing
She done
is,
Hold on.
considered that child
How do you say targeted and say motive unclear?
because they don't know why he did it. They don't know what the
they
relationship
haven't yet figured
was
out why.
or why he actually did it. Because somebody still ain't telling the truth about what she done did to that little boy.
And how old was the baby?
Four. The baby
How old
was
was the
four.
daughter?
The baby was
Oh,
4.
MG.
Yeah, four. So who's to know, you know? And then he didn't even enter a plea yet. They just holding him in jail without bond.
I
Because they
wonder,
know that he did it, but why? My thing is why?
That's the part. Why? What happened?
yeah. What and is there a relation between him and the child?
That's what I was
Because
thinking when I'm
for
like,
whatever
dang.
for whatever would have been going on between those two, and he felt the need to take her out. Was there a relationship between him and the child that he felt the need to take the child out as well, or was
I don't
that
Mm-mm.
know.
just
Yes.
was that just reckless? Was it reckless and the child was just a casualty, or was it intentional that the child was deleted as well?
I mean, has she
Well,
been
we do
leading this
know,
man on? Has she been lying to this man? Did he
but
go to this
minus
hotel with the thought that they had something more, or maybe that the child even could be his? Women be lying all the time. She probably got
I
that
was gonna say that too.
boy out
Is
here
the
thinking
child
that child belonged to him or anything, and then he come up. He's young. You know what I mean? He come up and find something that's different, and his
and this
mind.
and they were at the hotel. She was at the hotel.
mm-hmm.
Hurt the daughter and him. So
They've
I
been
mean,
living there. The baby
yeah.
and her been living there. They've been living there.
Yes, that's crazy, and I feel like her as a 40-year-old woman, um, having I don't know what kind of interactions that she was having with this young man, but I just feel like, and I'm assuming that more will come out. We'll follow the story and more will come out, but I just feel like there was some sort of manipulation and intent there with him, and
Mm-hmm.
she ended up costing that young man his life, manipulating him because 40 years old, what are you doing in a hotel with this young man like that?
That's what I was gonna say. The fact that if she's 40 and living in a hotel, I know sometimes people get on hard times, but has she always made the best of decisions? The fact that she is 40 living in a hotel.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's question marks every time.
Yeah, but I would like to know what the heck that relationship was between her and a 22-year-old little young man.
Yeah,
Because
sounds.
the child, if you think about the age of the child is young enough for that to be a potential.
Yeah,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
she could have been stringing that. You know how
And
people.
if that's the case, if that's the well, hold on. If he's 22 and the child's 4, nah, he would have been he would have been 18. Could have been 17, but I think what state are they in?
um Maryland, they're in
Is
Maryland.
16 is 16 the age of consent in Maryland?
Probably.
So um listen, whether he was consenting or not, any young man gonna consent to being able to get some cheeks from an older woman. Okay, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know the young man that's turning down cheeks from an older woman. Just
I don't know too many.
I'm just saying, like
Yeah,
that.
it is. It's
That's
16.
normal, natural, and normal for him. He
It's 16. No, the reason
could
why
have
I
looked
asked
like
is
Barracuda
because
Bill.
there's another story out about a teacher who had some inappropriate relations with a student and then got in a situation. And there's one where a female teacher had a relation with a child. She ended up getting pregnant, ended up putting the kid on child support because the child wasn't of age. The parents were forced to pay the child support until the child became of age. I said, now how in the hell are you the aggressor in that situation and this child is a victim and this child is on the hook for child support? You took advantage of this kid. That's why I was asking about the age of consent.
Mm-mm.
Listen,
Because if the child is 4, nearing on the age of 5, there is the potential that though that crossing of years exists. But yeah, because 40 at 40, the only thing I know about a 22-year-old is probably the new intern at our job. But at 40, I'm not hanging out with 22-year-old. I'm definitely not gonna be in no hotel with no male 22-year-old at the age of 40.
Exactly. None of that. But to
Was he,
each his own.
yeah,
I
what
mean,
kind of service was he providing?
yeah, see, that's the part. Like, I just don't know. And then, I mean, who's to say that maybe it wasn't even sexual? Maybe he went over there to serve her uh some substance, and she tried to rob him, or she tried to
That's why
get
I
over
said, what
on
kind of service was he
him.
providing?
Yeah, I mean, it could be a number of things. I'm waiting to see how the story unfolds and what exactly happened with this young man that would cause him to feel like he needed to delete this 40-year-old lady and her 4-year-old child.
Right. And
So,
and again, where's dad?
Nowhere. Or he could have been.
oh, you mean him as in the young guy could have been dad?
Yeah,
The
no. He
no,
the
the
dad is
4-year-old,
nowhere
if
or
he's
he could
not,
have been.
if they don't have a sexual relationship and there's no way he's a potential father, where is dad of the 4-year-old little girl?
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
That's sad. I mean, what? That's sad. Oh, the mindset, the hotel itself, the stress from the hotel itself, and staying in the hotel itself as a 4-year-old being homeless is more than enough.
That's what
Mm-hmm.
I was just gonna say. Even if life
More than enough.
happens, life happens. So you have a lot of people being evicted because of COVID, even though I don't have pity for most of them because most of y'all made bad decisions with all that extra COVID money. But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
sometimes life happens, right? Life can throw you a curveball. And you could end up homeless, you could end up, not, being evicted. So I get that part. But if that's the case, if you end up in a situation where you don't have living arrangements and your option is a hotel, then the last thing on your mind should be any 22-year-old. I don't care what service they could be providing. The only thing on your mind
Mm-hmm.
should be how do I get out of this situation? How do I because living in a hotel, it's not like you're gonna be living in a top-notch hotel. You're not gonna be living at the embassy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're not living at a five-star hotel. 9 times out of 10, you're living at a Motel 8 type of hotel. So if I have a 4-year-old child and whatever happened, even if life threw me lemons and I just ended up here temporarily, whatever, I'm trying to figure out what's the best way to get my child out of this unsafe environment. Because nine
Period.
times out of 10, if you're living in a hotel, it's pretty much assured you can say it's an unsafe environment.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Definitely. But to each his own. We would love to hear the continuation of this one as well. It's
yeah,
quite a
we had
few of
to.
them. Yeah, it's quite a few of them. I gotta hit the continuation on because they pretty juicy. Like, what is going on? Who did what? And how is y'all not finding what?
This the one got me
Yeah,
started.
I would like to know what their relationship is though. That one and the relationship between the mother and the son with the gaming, the virtual reality goggles. I would like to know what that relationship dynamic in the household was like and where his father is.
All of
Yeah.
them.
Right. But that 60 years, that's BS. That is BS.
But you say 60
We're
years.
always getting an unfair disadvantage, just like this story that we're getting ready to talk about right now. We do things out of necessity a lot of times, especially when it comes to like robbing and things of that sort. We had to get it out the mud. Some of us have been through situations where we didn't have a choice but to take something in order to be able to survive. But when we do crimes, of an equal measure to wonderful people. They tend to get lighter sentences than we do, and they tend to get an easier time off. We end up spending 60 years of our life for something that they get 6 months in probation for. Um, and that's
No,
what I
yeah,
don't
this
like.
one, yeah, this is more like 10 years, but this man is an older guy. This situation,
This
I mean, the whole thing from 60 to 10 is just
guy,
crazy.
So old enough to be responsible and be cognizant of the decisions that you make.
Exactly. Definitely cognitive in all the decisions that he's making. So if you read a little bit more of that, I don't know if y'all want to read it or make a story short or however y'all want to do it. It's up to
Now,
y'all.
go ahead, Rox. I don't know if Roxy froze up on us or not.
listen.
I think the screen might have frozen up on her though.
Um,
It ain't scrolling down.
so the story was taken from the story was taken from blackenterprise.com. And I wasn't touching it.
You're going in and out, Rox.
I hadn't put my finger on it yet. Um, I was saying the story was taken from black man for talking to his fiance in a bar, and they gave him.
You still going in and out, Rox.
Okay, that's because it's blinking over here on my end. One of y'all take it over, and I'll
Go ahead, Nisi.
do the scrolling.
Okay, to make a long story short, because I can't read none of that. That thing is too small for me to even read. That's why I said, do you want me to make a long story short? Because I
Okay,
can't
I
read
got
it.
This
it. I got it.
man, he's from B.
Now I can read it. White man who killed a black man in Bend, Oregon last year for talking to his fiance in a bar was sentenced to 10 years in prison and 3 years probation on November 28th. Scroll.
I'm steady trying to scroll on my damn computer. Girl.
Now go just make it short because Roxy's having some technical difficulties. So go
Make
ahead,
a
Nisi.
Okay, make a long story short, old dude was found guilty on both first and second manslaughter, but nonetheless, he actually deleted this guy after. Now he said the guy gave his girl a compliment, so he gave her a compliment in the bar or whatever. Nonetheless, he took it all the way out of context and went following the guy outside, had an altercation, boom, boom, boom. He deleted him that quick.
So a compliment is worth somebody losing a life over?
And they never held murder, they did
Red
manslaughter.
rum, red rum.
No red rum, just manslaughter. I don't, however you want to call it, it's not equivalent. My thing is just not equivalent. Like it's not equivalent. You went.
And that's crazy because so they got him on second degree manslaughter, but not first
Yes.
degree red rum. What's crazy about that is the only difference between first degree and second degree is a premeditation. But if
Yep.
you followed this individual out to their car and
Mm-hmm.
this transpired in the parking lot and he just gave your fiance a compliment, then how do you not consider some form of that premeditation? I don't care if the premeditation only lasted a few seconds. You followed
That's
this
in my
man
mind.
outside.
The confrontation was over inside the building. You went outside regardless of arguing or whatever. You still stepped outside. What was you
Right.
stepping outside to do? Was you ready to swing them
And
hands or was you coming out, you know what I'm saying?
and depending on where they were at the bar, 9 times out of 10, they had a 30-06 or 30-07, and you ain't wasn't able to bring a pistol inside there anyway. So did you go outside with the intentions of getting your pistol out of your vehicle, or did he have one on his person? But 9 times out of 10, if you're in a bar, your pistol is not on your person. 9 times out of 10.
Pretty much, yeah. In my assumption.
So
Yeah.
they can hit the 10-year-old boy with a first degree, but they don't want to hit but this individual don't get a first degree.
Mm-hmm.
And he
Because the judge
intentionally
said that
follow
she
somebody
thought
after
that
their
he
parking
would have
lot.
acted differently if he was given another
Oh, why you
For
keep
chance
doing
those
on the
that?
night of
for those who
it.
can't hear Roxy, they can't hear you, Rox. Roxy said the judge basically stated that he felt like had he had the chance to do this all over again, he
Mm-hmm.
would have made a different decision. And that may be
Lies.
Yes.
true right now. That may be true, but it's only true because you regret the mistake that you made. But say he can start the clock all over again, but you're still not aware that you made this mistake. You still would have done the same thing because it's not like you can go back in time knowing what you know today. Now, would he do it tomorrow? Probably not. But the crime he committed today was intentional and it was malicious.
Mm,
Over a
absolutely.
compliment. And my thing is this: if you're in a type of relationship when you and your significant other cannot go out and not have and not be able to deal with somebody else looking at your significant other, maybe giving a compliment, buying a drink for your significant other, then maybe y'all need to stay home, Netflix, and chill. Because I don't understand the couples that go to bars and get offended because somebody looks at your significant other or that they even give them a compliment. Why? And even if the conversation went too far left, why is that the other person's fault? Apparently, your significant other was carrying on with the conversation to the point that either he sped off a compliment immediately, which didn't warrant you chasing after this man in the parking lot, because he just saw maybe he saw a beautiful girl and decided to give her a compliment. A lot of men do that. Or the compliment came after they had been sitting engaging in conversation. And if that's the case, then your fiance was entertaining the conversation enough to the point that a compliment came about. But either way it goes, it doesn't warrant you chasing him out to his car because he gave your fiance a compliment.
Yeah, he wanted to argue. He had more to say.
Well, you better take that compliment. Be glad somebody else looked into your girl's face and thought that she was cute like you did and keep it pushing.
Be appreciative for the compliments.
Dummy. Now you done wasted 2 years of your life and you done deleted one of our men.
Cause you mad.
And was he mad? Would he have felt the same way if it was a wonderful person that gave his woman a compliment? Was the offense because it came from a melanated individual? Was that the offense?
That's exactly the offense. That was and from the whole reading, it was because the
But
guy
that
was
could
black.
be, but that just could be, they could, that could be just media, them trying to paint a story of black and white. To him, there's a potential that it didn't have anything to do with black and white. He could just be some kind of raging lunatic. That possibility does exist. Was it the fact that this individual was melanated, or is that just how the story was told? Because one individual is wonderful, one individual is beautiful.
However they want to put the spill the tea. However they didn't want to spill the tea.
Either way, he a sidey ass for that.
Either way,
You know, piss
how
me
how
off.
you give either way, how you give this man 10 years for intentional, malicious act of violence that
Mm-hmm.
resulted in the deletion of another individual over something
Mm-hmm.
as petty as a compliment. And we're sitting here entertaining the idea of a 10-year-old boy facing 60 years being tried as an adult.
Mm.
I don't got time.
60 years for the baby.
But 10
That is
years.
crazy.
10 years
But
for
10 years for this
be
one.
real.
An
None of that
adult,
makes
and this
sense.
man is an adult who made a conscious decision to follow this individual outside and continue an
Absolutely.
He
altercation over a compliment. You made a
Mm-hmm.
probably got
conscious
mad. He
decision.
probably got mad because our melanated brother beat him up outside. You know, people who be butt hurt, they can't handle
Did they
the hands. Decided he was gonna get frustrated to go pull out his heat since he hadn't got beat up.
And that's a lot of times that happen as well. So yes.
I would still like to know the pretext of the conversation. I would like to know, did he just say, "Hey, you're a beautiful woman, let me buy you a drink," and he heard it, "Oh, that's my lady, you stop," he just got irate? Or was he sitting here at the bar? Maybe the fiance had walked off to the restroom or whatever, and came back and see his woman entertaining another individual, who then gave her a compliment after she had been entertaining the conversation.
She probably was over there smiling.
Turning red and everything.
She's a thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Then
But
got
again,
deleted.
if you cannot go out with your significant other and engage in conversations with other people, stop going to the bar.
No, just stop going
Just
out.
stop going out, period.
Stop
No,
dating that person, because you should be able to be
there
in
are
a viable and healthy relationship without having to worry about speaking.
But there are places that you can hang out that don't involve conversing with other people. One, the movie theater. Nobody expects to talk in the movie theater. You go with the person you with, y'all don't talk about nothing. You may whisper in their ear, but you're not interacting with other people like that. A bar, that's exactly what people go to the bar to do, is interact. So if you can't have a conversation with another individual in the presence of your significant other, y'all need to stop hanging out at bars together.
Y'all need to stop hanging out, period. Go find you somebody else that's not going to be controlling and dominating your relationship. It's going to allow you to be able to speak to people. And on the flip side of that, if you weren't just speaking to that person and you was flirting, get your life in order and stop being in these relationships and flirting with other people, causing your outside other people to think that you single, having single activities, and you not.
Or date somebody who's cool with it and there's no problems. Because there are people who don't care that you a flirt. So date somebody who's cool with it if that's your personality. But I'm still tripped out at the fact that somebody that ended up 6 feet deep over a compliment.
Mm-hmm.
How did we get here? It was a compliment. You know what that's giving me? It's giving me Emmett Till.
Mm-hmm. That's why I put that one out. Like, yeah, that one don't feel too right. None of that sit right.
That was definitely gave me Emmett Till vibes for sure.
Yeah, when a compliment leads to somebody's deletion, are you serious?
Yeah.
Especially when you don't even know the whole situation. This girl probably could have been smiling in this man's face.
And a lot of females smiling, skinning, grinning people's faces.
And then got our males deleted.
But that still doesn't give you a reason, or it doesn't make sense to delete anybody over that. It's just a conversation.
But if that was the case, if he was offended by that, he should have taken it up with his girlfriend, fiance, or whatever their relationship was.
Oh, definitely. You never had it.
Now, I'm not saying that he should have deleted her, but what I'm saying is, if you feel like this conversation that your fiance is having with another individual is getting out of hand, then the conversation you need to have is with your fiance, not with this other individual. Now, don't get me wrong, that person turns around and disrespects you. Now this conversation is about something else. It's like if I walk in and catch my man cheating, I'm going to give her the opportunity to leave peacefully, because this ain't got nothing to do with you. Now, if you say something flip, now we got a different problem, because now you're disrespecting me. But I'm going to give you the opportunity to leave peacefully, because this has nothing to do with you.
Listen,
I'm not at all.
I'm not taking no issues up with no outside people unless they cause the issue.
Right.
Definitely, if some man come up and he trying to holler at me and I know that I got a man, I'm gonna check that man. It's my responsibility to make sure that my man's secure in our relationship. So I'm going to make sure that man know that I got a man. Thank you. And have a nice day. Get on from over here with that.
Or
if he continues to talk to me after I done let him know that this ain't what it is, then I'm going to tell my dude, hey, now we have a problem.
Another scenario, Rocks. Did he give her the compliment? She was he ha ha, or whatever the case may be, or maybe she wasn't, and then she went and played victim in front of her boyfriend, like, oh my God, he's bothering me.
Oh yeah, but
like, you know what I'm saying? Did she embellish the story a little bit, or did she just run over there playing victim and had him go play Captain Save-A-Ho?
I don't think it was going to play victim and Captain Save a Ho. I don't think that was it. I think it was more of we are getting a drink where, you know what I mean, he passed you once or he may have passed you and said, okay, you look nice or something like that because you were at the bar. You walk away. He like, oh, you say something to her? Did you say something to
Right.
her?
Right.
Did you say something to her? Wait a minute, boy, I'm talking to you. Did you say
Well,
something to her?
well, if it was that
Girl,
case, then
don't start with
as
them
her
boys.
as a woman, why didn't she step up and say, "No, babe, it's not like that." You know, he gave me a compliment. I let him know that we was together. That ain't what it is, and take her man and go on so
Right.
he ain't get in trouble.
Right. Because
Because
that's
you don't
another
just
thing. I'm not finna let my man catch no case over some bullshit I done started or did.
period.
Or even if you are just it's sweetheart, it's not like that. You're supposed to be his peace. If he's
Exactly.
acting irate and you feel like, hey, this person has done anything wrong, you should be trying to calm him down. But it was she hyping it up, or was this something that just happened like instantly? He heard the compliment as he was walking up to them, and it just escalated from there.
I think it was more of you heard the compliment because he didn't see it wasn't immediate. Let's take this outside. It wasn't immediate. Let's go outside and we can handle this. It was
Right.
okay. The situation is over. We're done talking. We're done arguing. It's not a big deal. I go
But
my way. I'm talking, but I go outside and then you come outside. I'm already outside. Then you coming outside to do a fight and then end up, you know what I'm saying? So I'm already out here. You find me out here. Start more confrontation from the confrontation that was in there. But that confrontation was dead. That confrontation ended a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? We were done. It was done and over with. This is a couple hours later. I'm outside. You see me outside. Now you're trying to bring up the conversation. And guess what? That's the end of me because
But that doesn't make sense because a couple hours later, I would think that if all that was going to go down, they would have actually got into an altercation inside of the bar. So if you just walked
nope, there was
away,
no altercation in the bar. There was no altercation. Um, nope, there was no altercation at all in the bar.
but I'm not, it couldn't have been a couple hours later, or maybe it was, but to me, that's, and if it was a couple hours later, then how do you not hit them with first degree? Because if I compliment your girl and you're offended and you say whatever, we have our exchange of words and I move up, go on about my business, it's not that serious, my bad, whatever, and I walk away. I stay in the bar 2, 3 more hours and then I leave. And you just follow me outside and we get into an altercation. If
Yep.
that's the case, then how can you not say premeditation doesn't exist? How do you not hit him with first degree? I'm thinking that he came up to him at the bar. It kind of went down from there. Maybe I don't know if they got into a shoving match, but I'm thinking that the melanated man decided to walk off and walk away and actually left the club and the dude followed him out immediately after that. And then they got into a real altercation in the parking lot. That's what I was thinking.
I don't know because they said later. So my thing is when you say later, doesn't specify time, but I'm assuming later couldn't be right then and there. You know what I'm saying? It couldn't have been a couple seconds after altercation. It says later
Right.
he fought him and then shot him. That's what it said. It says later he went to fight him and he found him outside to do so.
And if that's the case, how do you
Like
not
he
hit him?
found him
How do
outside to
you
do so.
Where was
with
she
first
at?
degree? But
I'm
how do
just
you
saying,
not hit him
where
with
was
first
she at?
degree?
Because even before you get to first degree, where was she at that she let her dude walk out here and take this man out over a compliment? Where was she at?
It
Because
don't
me
say
as a
nothing about her.
my dude is getting ready to get into it and it's over some stuff that's not that serious. I'm come on, babe, let's go to the car. Let's go. Let's go. Let's not that
Mm-hmm.
serious. Let's go. I'm with you. Like this me and you. We together. We
Oh,
worried
as
about
a
him.
matter of fact,
What you talking about? Fuck
the
him.
minute we had the little, the
Go.
minute we had the little verbal confrontation at the bar, okay, it's time to go home. Let baby,
Period.
let's go home. It's time to go home.
It's time to go home.
Listen.
It ain't a necessity for us to be out here at all. Let's go.
But yeah, but if he waited, if they stayed in the club after the fact, there was a split in that whole bar altercation, and then he followed him after that. I'm sorry, how can you not hit this man with first degree?
Mm, I
Because
mean,
Yeah.
you let that build up if that's the case.
that
Exactly.
even
And
got
you was thinking about it the whole time, and you was waiting on him to leave. How
Yup.
if that's the
Drinking and
case,
waiting.
you cannot. How do you not throw in first degree?
Drinking and waiting. Waiting. Got an altercation with them, got a little black eyed, and boom. He getting the best of you. You pull it out and you let it go on him a couple times.
But we're gonna hit the 10-year-old with the fullest extent of the law.
Right. That was ridiculous. I'm still stuck on this. I don't understand.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. It was just a compliment. I mean, but sometimes compliments do go far. I don't think initially, um, you just let people know, hey, that was offensive. Hey, I don't play that. I don't appreciate that. You let them know. Now, if they continue, if they keep on after you've given them their fair warning, then whatever happens, happens after that. But yeah, I would like to know what the compliment was. And was the compliment, did it come because she was sitting there entertaining a conversation? Or did he just walk by, say, hey, you're beautiful, let me buy you a drink? Because that happens a lot at a bar. A lot of
Hmm.
men just walk up to random women at the bar, give her a compliment, offer to buy her a drink. Happens all the time.
That's true, but as a woman, you don't entertain that in you with your man. That's disrespectful as hell for another man to walk up to you and compliment you in front of your dude like that.
But was he there? It could have been that he walked away and went to the restroom. You see a woman sitting at the bar, there's an empty seat next to her. You come up chit chatting. He doesn't have to know that she's there with somebody. He could have walked off. Or they could have been there, one facing one way, one facing the other. At the moment he saw them, maybe not knowing that they were together. That's why I said I would like to know, was it a situation where it was just an instant compliment, or did it come at the helm of an ongoing conversation that she entertained?
We need to know the rest.
Yeah, as we shall, as we shall. So we talked about a whole bunch of different reactions today to people that were um, being deleted for no reason or for uncalled reasons unnecessarily.
But the worst one is the 10-year-old.
Hmm.
Not as far as the actual how they're responding to it after the fact is crazy. I cannot believe that they are actually trying this 10-year-old as an adult. I cannot believe that. But you got a whole adult man that's set up here and getting 10 years for intentionally deleting the life of an individual over a compliment to your fiance, which lets me know that your relationship isn't all that secure. Y'all engaged. It's supposed to be one of the happiest moments of your life in the relationship. You're engaged. That's the second best period in your relationship. The first best is the actual honeymoon period. So how you sitting up here have a whole fiance and you sitting up here and caught 10 years over somebody giving them a compliment? How insecure was that relationship?
Hmm.
Or was she for the streets and you just mad because you realized you had made a bad decision?
She was for everybody. Everybody.
Because it's possible she was for the streets, or he could have been just crazy irrational. But either way it goes, I don't want anybody that wants me that bad that nobody can talk to me.
Mm-mm.
And I'm definitely not going to be in a relationship where we have those kind of insecurities.
Yeah,
But
it's just
yeah, but if you do have them, stay away from a bar. If you can't converse with other people, go to
Right.
a
Stay away from
library.
others.
Go to a library where no one's expected to talk.
Shut
I
up.
mean,
She
I'm
said we're
just
nobody
saying.
can talk.
I'm just, you're supposed to be quiet in the library.
Mm-hmm.
There are places that couples like that because there are insecure couples out there. There are couples that think only supposed to have eyes for me. You're not supposed to look at anybody else. There are places where you can go where you're not expected to engage with other individuals. A bar is not one of them.
How you
Hmm.
gonna be in a relationship? How you gonna be a person in period and not look at somebody else? Like, what kind of You know what? I'm not. Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's a form of domestic violence.
Period. But he got 10 and what he 10 and he's doing what? Serving how many? I think it's like a couple months probation after that.
I know. I forgot how long probation they said he was going to have.
I was just stuck on the 10 years. I was stuck on the 10 years. Like 10 years, that's it?
That's for
When you compare that to the 10-year-old story, that's crazy.
that crime of passion.
But you don't get to not throw premeditation in there or first degree in there if there was a time span from the altercation and you waited on the individual to leave to follow them into the parking lot. You don't get to not call that premeditation.
Mm-hmm.
Premeditation don't have to take a month. You don't have to plan every detail out for premeditation.
Right.
You could just decide to hop in your car right now and take a 5-minute drive to somebody's house. That is premeditation.
You thought about it.
Well,
Right. And carried out an act.
that part. Either way, it's wrong. It's just another way to show how messed up things are in society and why these type of conversations are necessary because mindset training is necessary for sure. So we talked about a lot of different things, and we're definitely gonna come back. Definitely join us again on Thursday. We'll be here Thursday evening for our color of truth. Um, Gonna do some more reactions. We appreciate you. Definitely like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Um, if you want to support us, you can support us via Cash App at Melanated and Candid. And we thank you guys for coming out. We appreciate you. Um, and yeah, any last words, ladies? 'Cause
And watch the company that you with because from the 40-year-old messing whatever relationship with that 22-year-old, um, us women making better decisions around our kids, you being in a hotel, not keeping your child in safe environments. We just got to make better decisions when it comes to one, raising our kids, teaching them right from wrong, what's appropriate, not giving them everything. You know how I feel about participation awards. But we've got to start making better decisions as parents in when it comes to keeping our kids safe. But as far as those tip goes, you said you're afraid of shopping. So ever since that top shooting in what was that in Buffalo, I
Mm-hmm.
stopped going to certain stores in certain neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
I go shop on that other side of town.
Like what? Listen, it's
Just
sometimes
trying
I
to
ain't even
limit.
going shopping.
Just
It's
trying
just
to
like I
limit.
go
I
shopping
call
during a
it
certain time
right,
of the
just
day.
risk management. It's just risk management.
That's
So
all I'm
yeah,
talking about.
if you have those situations, you just have to make better decisions. Always be aware of your surroundings all the time. Stop having strange men hanging out at your house around your babies. We just got to make better decisions in life and stop putting ourselves in predicaments in these type of situations. Not that you can avoid all of them, but you can reduce your risk. So we just got to make better decisions and reduce our risk where we can.
all
And
right,
I say just be more aware. Prevention, intervention, and awareness. Period. Like that's just what we need. Parents, stop trying to be friends. Work on more prevention, intervention, and awareness for your child, for your children, nieces and nephews,
And if they
all
need
of them.
psychological assistance, get it.
You can talk to the primary care physician all the way down to the hell. You can even say something to the dentist guy. Look, you can say something to the dentist office. You can, if you voice it more, you can get more assistance. So I'm saying just go about voicing things more so you can get more assistance for your family or, for the child in need or the family in need.
Yeah, we definitely got to start looking at that more because I cannot believe you have a situation. You good, Rock? Pull us out, Ross.
Okay.
Rox, we
All
cannot
right,
hear
all right,
you.
all right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. She must have a delay. Yeah, Rox apparently is having a delay. So we thank everybody for joining us. You all have a good night and join us on Thursday on For Color of Truth. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.